hear it.
I'm not going to say that again. At number 53, an all-state linebacker as a junior and an outstanding defensive end as a senior, a guy that was all over the field in 2008 and 2009, making play after play after play. A guy that's been low on this list. He's been high on this list. We finally find a home for him here at number 53, Chris Weaver. Yeah. Ricardo's guy. And the thing is, I like Chris Weaver too, but he's the biggest proponent.
You should definitely like Chris Weaver because you played with him too.
I do like Chris Weaver.
You seen firsthand what he did.
Right.
I was a spectator. I was in the stands. And even I seen it back then that Chris Weaver was.
But see, that's the thing. The
guy.
difference is when you playing, you really don't notice the defense like that.
That's true.
Like you,
I'll give you that.
You don't pay attention until third down.
I feel like you still should have knew what Chris Weaver was.
Well, okay, so he was on the list from the jump. So let's not act like
let's make that clear. He never was not on the list,
but where he was placed at on the list.
There we go.
And just watching his play, game in and game out, almost every single third down, you can expect 47 to be around the football.
Yeah.
Chris Weaver was an outstanding, and let's talk about his junior year first. Second team all-state linebacker, a guy that was in a crowded backfield as a sophomore. He was a fullback, and then if you look at our backfield in 08, it's loaded.
Thank God he got moved to defense.
Absolutely. One of the fastest guys I've ever seen with my own too. Of course, this is Longview, so this is a hand-timed 40. But he ran 4.3 2 years in a row on a hand-timed 40, which even if that does equate to 4.5 speed on the laser,
right?
Like, dog, that's
still
still moving, bro.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys that was just all over the field, consistently around the ball, consistently coming and running things down. If there's a trademark, if there's something that you can put to Chris Weaver's name, what do I remember the most about? It's just him looking like a lion hunting down prey and just literally walking down opponents. I mean, the dude's speed was outrageous, and it was his biggest proponent and what made him a great player. Ricardo, you speak on him because, I mean, you're the reason why he's sitting here at 53. Because you made me open my eyes and say, like, yeah, this dude was a
I definitely did, because my only memory of him is seeing him fly to the ball like a speeding bullet. And it literally looked like everybody else was walking, and he was going at the speed of a bullet making plays. Yeah. I just remember that. And so, of course, when it came, time for us to start deliberating who should be where, he just kept ringing. When I think about the 2008, 2009 defenses, I regard him to be at least top 3, the best on that defense.
Easily.
And so I had to keep saying his name. I had to keep saying, hey, Chris Weaver. Chris Weaver deserves to be somewhere high on this list because I remember what he did. I remember him flying to the ball, making a lot of plays. And so, for me, that's just my only memory of him. So why not have him, hold him in high regard? Which is, I mean, he's deserving when you look at his numbers, and if you look at the film, maybe his numbers might not jump out, off the stat sheet to you. But if you look at his film, as you have, I know you did.
Yeah.
It's gonna make you take a second look. And
I mean, you look at his film, and then a lot of people, like people who are just observing the list from a distance,
right?
I'm like, how's this dude in the 50s?
Exactly, that's true.
Like
I mean, hopefully people realize that this is a list of just 100 players out of maybe
1,000.
It gotta be more than 1,000
easily. I mean,
or if it is
at least
even
if it's just 500 starters and over the course of 20 years, it's outrageous.
So for him to be sitting at 53 is still it's really good.
It's really, really, really good. He's right in the mix.
What we've had
exactly, and you think about guys that come before him on this list or after him,
right?
All-State kind of guys. Emron Dean at 55 was first team All-State. Trey Webster was an All-State guy. Chris Weaver is an All-State guy, and he's there. What you'll see down the road, you'll see a bunch of, like, everybody else is going to either out-accolade him. That's the only way that he's up there. When I honestly, watching his tape, as far as defensive players go, he deserves to be in the category of Robert Henderson, Boom, Baby Boy, DeMarcus Lathan, Tyshawn Taylor, as far as just being a guy that's super productive and a guy that you want on your defense. I don't know how you can not talk about Chris Weaver
Right.
being as one of the best defensive players we've ever had. And he did have a lot of help around him. Defensive line in front of him was pretty damn good.
That's a fact.
But even as a defensive end, which was even more impressive after watching taping in, is him show out at defensive end.
Yeah.
Because Damian Jones, is worth 32 and 21.
Mm-hmm.
One of the fastest people I've ever seen in my own life.
That is true.
He was pretty decent at defensive end. Not somebody that was just, he wasn't a natural defensive end by any means, but his speed and the way that he got to the quarterback was something that was a plus for us.
Right.
After he got, I think he failed. I hate to put his business out there like that, but I think he failed as a senior.
Just did that.
And Chris Weaver got moved down to defensive end, and it was like it was a difference.
Again, him playing out of position.
Yeah.
I mean, now that I know
and
the
Chris
backstory,
Weaver's not a big dude, man.
He's not at all. But now that I know the backstory, that he was a fullback who was in a crowded backfield, who got moved to defense to play linebacker, excelled at that, and then having to move to defensive end because somebody either grades, hindered them from playing or maybe injured.
And we were really deep in 2009 in linebacker. Diab Jones. Anthony Wiley. Diab Johnson. Anthony Wiley. Thomas Jones. Cameron Jones. We had a plethora of linebackers that could play.
Yeah.
And none of them, maybe T. Jones, as you saw as a senior, he could play DM, but at the time, Chris Weaver was the best to put it and replace that kind of speed. Let's talk numbers a little bit. As a junior, 122 tackles, 5 sacks, 15 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, fumble recovery, a PBU, and an interception. Him and Kennard Cooks.
Yeah.
2 guys that you forget easily just because they're not 6'2" and 230.
No.
And they didn't play on that 0-2 team. They don't have cool nicknames like Boom. You know what I mean?
That's true.
There'll be guys that you forget, but those 2 together in 08, pretty as solid as you can get. One being 5'8" and the other one being 5'5".
Yeah.
Like, that's as good as you
can
get.
Gotta be I think collectively, gotta be the smallest linebacker tandem we've seen.
No question.
So, yeah.
So, as a senior, Chris comes back. Like I said, didn't have quite the year because he changed positions in the middle of the year. Yeah. But 66 tackles.
Did he miss a few games?
Nah, he played in all of them. 66 tackles, 7 sacks, 18 tackles for loss, fumble forced and a fumble recovered as a senior. So it's not the same thing that he was as a junior. His linebacker was, of course, he was the guy that was supposed to make all the tackles at linebacker. But like I said, when you talk about a guy that could make 18 tackles for loss,
yeah, that's crazy.
You play D-line, you know how hard that is.
Yeah, I do.
That's extremely difficult to do. And a guy in Chris Weaver that excelled in both positions. I'm really just rambling. Football games, maybe